Hello everyone, and welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. Today we are going to bring you a low carb version of chocolate chip cheesecake bars. Now this is a recipe I made all the time before I was low carb. And I would go and I would get the Nestle Toll House pre-made dough and I would make the cheesecake portion. So I already know the cheesecake portion. I've just switched it. I found a recipe for chocolate chip bars, and what I'm doing is I'm taking that, I'm kind of combining, I'm creating my own. So these are going to be an epic win or an epic fail, and I'm taking my old cheesecake recipe but low carbing it, and we're going to put them together and see if I can recreate this exact same recipe in a low carb way. So let's do it. Let's do it. So first things first, in the dry ingredient bowl, and all my dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of almond flour. I have 1/2 cup of unsweetened coconut. You can leave it out if you want to. I'm not a huge fan of coconut. I'm just gonna flat out tell you that from the get-go. I'm not a huge fan of it, but in this recipe it works. So if you're somebody who's like, okay, I could probably do it if others do it, this one, it does work, but you can leave it out if you want to. 1/2 cup of brown swerve. So we're gonna use brown swerve instead of regular sweetener, or brown sugar, substitute of choice. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, okay? And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So that's what we're gonna do here. In the liquid bowl, and I've already beaten it, so it's kind of thick right now. In the liquid bowl, I have 1 egg, 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I've beaten it up already. And then 1/3 cup of some Lily's chocolate chips. And we're going to get those going. And then I have a 9x9 pan. You can spray it. I plan on taking them out and cutting them into, this makes 16. Cutting them into 16 bars and storing them in a container in the fridge, because they are cheesecake bars, so they're gonna have to be stored in the fridge. So since I'm doing that, I just wanted to have easy lifting, so I lined mine with parchment. All right, let's get going. So here's all the dry ingredients. I wanted you to see them all before I actually did a quick mix. So should be pretty easy to make. We are not going to use all of this at once. The oven is preheating to 325. And then here is the liquid that's already been beaten. I used an egg frother because I am going to have to make the cheesecake later. So if you have like an egg frother mixer, you can use one of those, or you can rewash your mixing thing. I didn't want to do that, so I just used my egg frother. Okay, so we're just gonna mix all of that in, and we'll be ready to add the chips. But you do want to beat the eggs and the butter, make that all nice and creamy, and then you can just fold or stir. I could have stayed with the spatula if I wanted to, and make it so you guys can see. And it's gonna make a cookie dough texture. So if you noticed, that came together really fast, and the texture is, I don't know how well you can tell, but it is very much like a cookie dough. Smells like chocolate chip cookie dough, except we don't have those chips. 1/3 cup. You can do dark chocolate, semi-sweet. I'm doing semi-sweet because when I do a chocolate chip cookie bar, I think semi-sweet. But do whatever you want. Mix. Do some semi-sweet, some butterscotch. I mean, do what you want. When it comes to Lily's, because it's a sugar alcohol, stevia, it's gonna be a 0 anyways in the net carbs. So you can do what you want. All right, so we've got it all mixed up. That was easy. Here's our pan. We are going to transfer, let me go to a spatula. This will be a little bit easier. Give it a little swoosh, get the butter off some of here too. So we are gonna put 2/3 of the batter. I'm somebody who tries to lay, a little trick. I try to lay my batter as even as I can. And then I'm literally going to slice it into thirds. So I'm going 1, 2. And then I know before I even, I will place all of this like that. That's 1/3 because I had already scored it. So then all I have to do is now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna start pressing it down to make a cookie bar. Okay. I did not spray my pan down and I'm kind of wishing I had done that. Switch over to my fork here, see if I can maybe get a little bit more. Spread it out a little bit. I'm just gonna spread it and then flatten it a little bit. Okay, here we go. It's my home. You guys mind? You guys are like, you're inside Becky's kitchen. This is going much better. Some of you guys were probably yelling at the camera, just use your fingers. Now, granted, if I was making millions of dollars, I would have just edited this whole thing. All right. So we're almost there. There we go. Just kind of want it flat everywhere. Can you see that? Okay, let me do this. I want to get that on my phone. All right, so at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bars into the oven for 15 minutes and then take them out to start cooling. While they're cooling, and I'm just gonna leave this off to the side because we need it later. When they're cooling, we're gonna be making the cheesecake ingredients. So I'm gonna bake this and I'll be back here to assemble the cheesecake. Okay, so it has been 15 minutes. I want to show you, this is not done. This is only partially cooked. We're getting ready for the next step. So, right now I've got the dough on the top, but it is still very, very wet and spongy, but that's okay. That's what we want. So now I'm gonna take it off the stove and I'm just putting it on a heating pad right there to cool off for a few. Now onto the cheesecake and getting my crumbles back. Okay, so for the cheesecake, 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese at room temperature, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of powdered swerve or powdered sweetener of choice, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. All right, so what I'm gonna do, this is loud, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of show you it's all in here. And basically you just want to mix it until it's all blended. As you can see, my blender is loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it all up, and I'll meet you back here when it's all done. Okay, so everything is mixed. This is not cool yet. This is still pretty hot because this came together really fast. So we're gonna go pretty quick. We're gonna add the cheesecake. We're gonna crumble the topping, the other third on top. We're gonna put it back in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, basically until the cheesecake starts to turn golden brown. All right, let's go ahead and assemble. And I do wanna go quickly because this is hot, so I know that as soon as I do this, the cheese is gonna start cooking. So this is the fast part. But it blends up literally in like a minute, guys. Very, very fast. Okay. So all I do is just really quickly make sure it's nice and even. Like I said, right now I'm kind of going on speed. Okay. So, take your hands. You're just going to take the remaining dough. I'll start up here where you guys can kind of see. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it in chunks all over topping. It's going to be good. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. By the way, these are best eaten cold. I'm gonna be doing my taste test, sorry, I can't talk, probably at room temperature, just because of I time when I eat. I always have, ever since I started my weight loss. I time when I eat, and the only way to do this is to have it before supper. So I'll probably be eating a warm bar, but I will tell you they are honestly really, really good cold. But once again, like I said, cheesecake. So now I'm just trying to find a few spots to kind of dollop in here. That's it. Let me dry off my hands real quick. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. Do it like this. There it is. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put it in for 25 to 30, but when the cheesecake starts to golden brown, that's when we're done. And I'll pull them out and I'll let them cool. I'll slice them up and I'll meet you for the final taste test. All right, so they are all done and made. I have the rest of the batch in the fridge getting set because you should eat them cold. I have set this one for about 10 minutes, but it is still warm. But I just wanted to kind of show it to you. Doesn't that look really, really good? So, here we go. I'm sure it's gonna be good. Warm cheesecake is as good as cold cheesecake. And they're cookie bars. These are really, really good. Really, really good. You can definitely tell that it's got that chocolate chip cheesecake or chocolate chip cookie flavor. The cheesecake flavor goes really well together. I'm sure once it's all cold, I'll be able to hold it with my hand and eat it. This is a great recipe. Very low in net carbs, very low in total carbs. So if you click on more, the recipe and all of the nutritional facts will be down below. This is literally a great recipe. If you've been making this before, like me, and are excited to know that you can still make this, go and do it. I think you'll enjoy it. So, low carb chocolate chip cookie cheesecake bars. I hope you enjoy them. Enjoy. I'll see you next time. Bye.